For centuries, it has lingered in the mist, an ancient shadow beneath the still waters of a Scottish lake, a shape no one can explain, a legend no one can kill. Scientists came with sonar, satellites and DNA scans, but the mystery only deepened. Because sometimes what we search for isn't hiding in the water, it's hiding in us. They call it the Loch Ness monster, Nessie, the world's most famous creature that may, or may not, exist. The story begins in the rugged highlands of Scotland, where in 1933 a road was built along the shores of Loch Ness. Soon after, people began to see things. Long, serpentine shapes gliding silently across the lake's dark surface. Newspapers went wild. "A prehistoric monster lives in Loch Ness," they shouted. Tourists flooded in, cameras ready, while locals whispered old tales of water spirits known as kelpies. But Nessie was different. It wasn't folklore. It was something people swore they had seen with their own eyes. The first photograph came soon after, the surgeon's photo of 1934, showing a dark neck rising from the water like a creature frozen in time. It became one of the most iconic images of the 20th century. To the world, it was proof. To skeptics, it was a trick of light. Decades later, the photo was exposed as a hoax, a toy submarine with a sculpted head. Yet the damage, or the magic, had already been done. The world wanted to believe. Nessie wasn't just a monster anymore. It was a symbol of wonder, mystery, and the limits of human understanding. As the years rolled on, scientists arrived determined to settle the question. In the 1950s and 60s, sonar technology began sweeping the depths of Loch Ness, revealing massive moving shapes that couldn't easily be explained. Each new expedition brought headlines. Sonar detects large objects below surface. Monster found at 900 feet. But the evidence was never clear. The sonar blips could be fish, debris, or thermal layers. But the possibility of something more kept hope alive. In 1972, a team captured underwater photos showing a flipper-like shape. A year later, new sonar images hinted at large living creatures. None of it was definitive, but it was enough to sustain belief. By the late 20th century, Loch Ness had become the world's most studied body of water. Every few years, new technology promised answers. In the 1980s, the BBC sent sonar arrays and submersibles into the loch. They found nothing unusual. In the 1990s, satellite scans searched for thermal patterns. Again, nothing. Still, the myth endured. Because even as science kept returning empty-handed, stories kept surfacing. Eyewitnesses, ordinary people, claimed they'd seen something vast moving beneath the surface, a hump here, a shadow there. Not every story can be dismissed as fantasy. And that is what frustrates and fascinates the scientific world to this day. In 2018, researchers conducted one of the most comprehensive studies ever performed on Loch Ness, analyzing DNA samples from the water itself. The results identified thousands of species, fish, bacteria, eels, but nothing resembling a prehistoric creature. The researchers concluded that the monster, if it existed, might be a giant eel, a theory both rational and strangely disappointing. Because in a way, people didn't want Nessie to be real in the scientific sense. They wanted her to be real in the mythical one. The Loch Ness monster endures not because science failed, but because humans need something that science cannot measure: mystery. Across the world, from the Himalayas' Yeti to North America's Bigfoot, we see reflections of the same longing. The desire to believe that the world still holds secrets, that we haven't mapped or measured everything worth knowing. In that sense, Nessie is less a creature of the loch than of the human mind, a symbol of the thin line between knowledge and wonder. Today, visitors still gather at the shores of Loch Ness, cameras ready, scanning the endless grey water. They know the odds are slim, but they look anyway. Children point excitedly at ripples. Old couples tell stories. Scientists still return, driven by curiosity, if not conviction. And every now and then, someone sees something, a shadow beneath the waves, a movement that defies explanation. Maybe it's just the wind, maybe it's just imagination, or maybe somewhere in that deep ancient water, something still stirs. Something that refuses to die, no matter how many tests are run or how many facts are written. Because you cannot kill a legend with science. You can only chase it, and in chasing it, discover something far more mysterious, the human need to believe that magic still exists in a world desperate to prove otherwise.